Before Gareth Jones on Speed, just time for a quick Sniff Petrol roundup of what the motorsport press have been saying this week. Lewis Hamilton, Hertfordshire, 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 Lewis Hamilton, Lewis Hamilton, and Ralph Schumacher says he's the third best driver in F1.
As you join us in Gareth Jones on Speed, we're discussing the new, what's it called, the Chrysler 300?
300C Touring, I think it is.
I saw one parked about 100 yards away from this house the other day, and you know what? I know it's an obese bit of old engineering. I know it's the old Mercedes E-Class chassis.
Well, steady, because they get very upset when you say that.
Yeah, they really
it's
are.
not as close as you'd think, perhaps.
But I really like it, and I'm glad that you like it too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, did you know, top fact about that car, the diesel estate one, there's such a shortage of them that they're going for over list.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
very cool
tremendous.
cars.
Have you noticed everyone's having that Bentley grille fitted to it as well? Because normally they come with a big sort of crosshatch grille, but you can get a kind of chrome mesh on it instead, which personally I think is gopingly horrid, but a lot of people seem to like it, and it gives it a kind of Bentley-ish look.
You're listening to Gareth Jones on Speed. I'm Gareth Jones.
I'm Zog.
I'm Richard Porter.
And we weren't supposed to be talking about Chryslers that look like Bentleys today. We're supposed to be talking about what's going on at the moment. Most noticeably, something we wished for in the Christmas show. If you missed it, you know the moment. Tell them, guys.
What you mean? We did our Christmas song, and it contained the line, "I want someone good to buy Aston Martin."
Yeah, it went like this. I want a championship. The Jensen plays a part in. Want someone good to buy Aston Martin. All I want for Christmas is some speed. So there's an old Chinese proverb which says, be careful for what you wish, for it may be granted. And it has been granted the best possible option, the best man to buy Aston Martin. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, it's fantastic to have a British motorsport figure heading up takeover of Aston Martin. Yeah,
Richard.
I'm going to hold judgment on that. I don't know. I do worry a little bit because it's Dave Richards, and his background fundamentally is in motorsport.
Is that a bad thing? You mean from the point of view of running a big car manufacturer? That's not necessarily.
If you're doing a race team and they're going into F1 next year, of course, and I just think you'd have to worry about door fits and electric windows working and stuff like that. But they've got Ulrich Betts staying there, and he seems to know what he's doing. And I gather that new V8 Cabrio is fantastic, really good, and they've been having a lot less quality problems with the V8 compared to the DB9, which was a bit glitchy. And a friend of mine had one, and eventually he just got rid because it never worked properly.
I think David Richards is a good manager because he really turned round what was the BAR team. It's a tough gig to sort of do what he did, and it was single-handed. He turned it around. He set the way. He was able to leave the team, and they continued doing well without him. But I think they wouldn't have got to where they were without his managerial skills. And I think his managerial skills applied to such a strong brand as Aston Martin could be a good thing.
Sniff Petrol's here with the new owner of Aston Martin. So, Dave.
No, it's David.
Right, sorry. So, David.
Please call me Dave.
Right. So you must be delighted to have bought Aston Martin.
Yes, it's great to have this illustrious name back in British hands. Paid for with Q80 money.
And can you tell us a little about your future plans for Aston Martin's model range?
Well, I can't say too much, of course, but I can reveal that the Rapide Saloon is on its way, although I have a few changes in mind over the concept model.
OK, and can you talk us through those changes?
Well, I'd like it to have gold wheels, and I think it should be blue. And it's probably not ugly enough, so we'll fit some horrible bug-eye headlights, and then a couple of years later we might get Peter Stevens to rehash it into something slightly less awful.
This sounds... No, go on, sorry.
And it'll probably have long travel suspension and some big stickers up the side that say 555 or something.
Don't worry. Well, what, for example, does Dr. Betts have to say about this plan?
Why don't you ask him?
Aluminium extrusion V8 engines with battleship four-door coupes.
Dr. Bez out of the Happy Monday. I'm sorry, this is extremely silly, and I'm going.
Double top sorted.
Please, call me David. Dave. Id. David. Dave. David.
You're a very silly man.
Petrol!
So that was Dave.
You're listening to Gareth Jones on Speed.
Can I just ask one question about Dave Richards?
Yeah.
Has he got a beard or not?
It's hard to tell, isn't
Is
it?
it just stubble, or has he got a beard and he's not very good at growing a beard? Or what? I just wish he'd make his mind
I
up.
think it's a beard. To me,
I
it looks like a
don't
beard.
know. If you've got an opinion on Dave Richards' beard, then do email the usual address onspeed@garethjones.tv.
Do you
and
hear my
entitle
theory?
your email
Yeah.
Dave Richards' beard.
Do you know what I think it is? I think he's got water retention. He has permanent facial hair that reaches a certain length, but then the flesh in his jaw expands and contracts, revealing just a little bit of stubble. It's a condition which I believe George Michael also has.
I think it's called Ross Brawn syndrome.
Ah, yes.
Another vague beard in motorsport there.
It's very Miami Vice, whatever.
So, Aston Martin, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, no, thumbs up. I think Dave Richards is a good bloke, and like you say, he's a good manager, and they've got a good team already there at Aston Martin. Ford are keeping 15%, so I hope what it means is they can use Ford facilities still, because you don't believe how expensive it is to crash test cars and winter test them and all that stuff, so they need a big corporation to help them out with all that stuff. And of course Ford builds all the Aston engines in their factory in Germany, so they're going to need Uncle Ford, Henry Ford, to look after them a little bit. But fair play to them, and I hope they do well with what they've got planned.
Is there another model? Is there another example of a car company, a sports car company, who are part-owned by a larger concern, who have thrived in a situation like that, but have kind of 75% independent control? Lotus are wholly owned by Proton, aren't they, these days?
Well, I'll tell you a funny little arrangement that's not dissimilar is the relationship that Morgan has with BMW. Because since they brokered that engine deal way back when they did the Aero 8, BMW now have sort of two engineers, I think it is, who are permanently assigned to Morgan. They let them use their test tracks and their facilities for developing cars, and they give them full backup on engineering the engines to go into the Morgans. But Morgan retain their independence.
Bayern Morgenwerks.
That's, as they say in Germany. And that seems to work.
That's got to be good for Morgan. And
it's great for Morgan.
It's a nice little, sort of...
I think it's interesting for BMW as well, because it shows that there's no real reason to do that, in as much as they can't make them a lot of money, but I think they just do it.
But they look good,
and
it gives them a nice sort of kind of exotic and, sort of prestige little mini brand.
And that's where we leave Gareth Jones on Speed today with Gareth, Richard and Zog discussing something really minute about cars. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have you seen the new indicators on the Swift, the Suzuki Swift?
I'll tell you what, the indicator stalk action on that Swift is really good.
You're jacking on my suspension band. Got nitro.
Gareth Jones on Speed was made by Whiz Bang.